or I work for Ransom Financial. I'm a grant writer and grant administrator. And the city is interested in putting an application for the science grant. The city would sponsor the application and, last I heard, they're also paying for the grant writing, right? So this would be free of charge at this point. Now there is some footwork in front of it, but, we wanted to get the information out to you guys about this grant and be able to explain it to you and see if we can get some people that are interested. The minimum amount of people or minimum amount of businesses that can be on the application is 3. The maximum is 5. If we have more than 5, then what we'll do is we'll ask for pictures. Our committee will rank them from like worst condition, we don't even have a sign, there'll be different criteria for that. And then we'll probably do some site visits, and then the worst 5 will be on the application. There are additional rules if you're in the historical district. I did bring a map if you're not sure if you're in this or not. I will put this over here. Before you leave, if you are interested, we have a paper over here that you could write your information and your business information on there, and then just information about the science grant. And that's kind of what I'm going to go over real quick today. I want to be mindful of your time. So if you don't have one, we'll just pass them out real quick. I also want right up front want to tell you that if you are a chain, so Pizza Hut, Casey's, Walmart, any kind of chain business, you will not qualify for this grant. So I don't want to waste your time. So if you are part of a chain, then you will not qualify. Yeah, come on in. Can you get him a paper too, please? Just getting started. Come on in. So, kind of a few question and answers right off the top. This can't go for any type of city or county signs. It has to be for a business. So all of those, if you have a food truck, it won't count for a food truck. It actually has to be a brick and mortar building. So this is going to be a really quick turnaround. The grant is due February 28th. So we wanted to get this in front of you guys as soon as possible because there's some footwork that you're going to have to do if you want to apply. So after the awards, then you have to work with a designer that is on the list from the state. So if you're a designer or if you have a friend or a colleague or something that is a designer and wants to be able to design your sign, there is a link that we can send them to and they can apply for that. But they have to be on the approved list to be able to design it. Now, sign makers, we go to anybody that we want to make the sign. So if you have somebody local here in town that makes signs, that's great. If they don't make the type of sign that you want, it could be anybody. They do prefer local and they do prefer in-state. If you are in a historical district, there is the map that we just talked about. Eligible costs. So part of this is eligible for the grant. It's going to be a dollar for dollar match. So if the state pays $1, you pay $1. And so under this, it's going to include the artist design. They will help pay for that. The purchase, electrical and lighting, installation of your sign. Those are all going to be, and 10% of the grant administration, those are all matched with the state. They will pay for that part. There is a list of signs, and I'm not going to read you word for word on this, but I will kind of go over it. The state wants certain types of signs in this. This is only their second round doing this. So I'm glad they decided to do it again. So building and facade signs, blade signs, pole signs, awning signs, painted wall signs, and exterior lighting. Those are the types that they can be. And it's best if you do want to put in for this that we will talk with the state and say, hey, this is the type of sign we're looking at. This is kind of what we're going to have it look like on the building. So they can give us pointers because they're really willing to talk. They want to give this money away in the grant, and they will help us to have the best application that we can. It won't go for any kind of fixing up your building, anything like that. So we won't be able to do that. It is strictly for signs. And there's some signs that do not qualify also, and that's under that ineligible grant list. Um, Application requirements. So letter of support from the city. The city is willing to write a letter of support for each business in that application. Also, a letter from the business owner. And if you rent your business or you rent your building to put your business in there, we're also going to need a letter from the owner as well. And I'll work with you about that to make sure that it says all the things that the state wants to see. You have to have your property tax paid for, your state and city taxes all paid. Um, the actual sign has to be installed within 6 months. We will have to close this grant out in December, and so we need to have the signs designed, installed, and everything finished by December. The design committee, they can, and that's with the state, they can come in at any point and say, we would like to help you figure out your design to look better. They're not going to change your logo. They want signs that are going to catch people's eyes when they come downtown. They want the signs to be able to catch the eye, so they're going to come into your business. And so they might have different ideas. Instead of just a plain sign, they might have you add a little decoration or decor or lighting or something like that. But they really have some great ideas, and they helped the first round by making these businesses that either didn't have signs or their signs were falling apart. They really made them stand out. They look really great. The signs have to follow the rules or our application will get kicked out. And one thing we did discuss is city codes for the signs. Are they going to have to fill out an application? I'm not sure which one of you would be in charge of that.
So just has to have a permit. So the person that's actually hanging the sign has to be a licensed sign hanger, which is not that big of a deal. And they do have to pull a permit. But it's
Okay.
that's that company that's the responsible party for that.
Okay. Is there a fee for the permit? Okay. So when we get awarded, we will start talking to whoever's going to install. So I will be hand in hand helping you to go through the design process, go through who's going to make your design, who's going to make your sign, and who's going to install it. And then at the end, I'll do all the paperwork with the state to close it out. So I'm going to help you make it as smooth as possible. That's kind of the gist of all of this. Do you guys have any questions?
So I have a question. Do I understand it correctly that the grant is only half and then the business owner comes up with the other half?
That is correct. So the state will pay 50% and you will pay 50%. So if your sign is $1,000, then you'll pay $500 and the state will pay $500.
A couple questions. One, probably for you. Do you have, we have to get these designs approved by the city before we can send it to the state?
Well, part of the process says if you're in the start, which you
Right.
are, if you're in the historic district, it does have to go through a historic review before the start.
Is there time to get that done before the application?
We should have an issue with that.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Does it have to? Would that have to be approved before February 28th, though?
No, but it will have to. There are additional rules, and I can get you those additional rules since you're in the historical. Is anybody else in the historical district? You guys are? Okay.
She's not.
Lucky lady. I think that is important. Let's go through the historical. I did bring that information as well. There's going to be certain ways you can attach the sign to your building. There's going to be certain designs that they're going to want you to use. Not necessarily like changing your logo, but types of signs. Let me look up the historical part of that. Sorry, I should have had that ready for you guys. That was a good question. Would you mind looking in there and see if you could find the historical part of that historic? Yeah. Might be one on this one too. I think let us find that and we'll get back to you on the historical part. Did you guys have any other questions? My email and phone number are on the bottom of the two-sided sheet with all the information. Feel free to email, text, call me. I can answer any questions for you. Again, this is the second round the state is doing, and it's a little bit different this round. But they try to make it as smooth and easy as possible for us. So they're willing to talk through everything. And the thing about it is I have to have all of my paperwork and your paperwork in by the 28th. So if you're really interested in moving forward, we need to hit the ground running.
So,
The maximum amount of businesses is 5.
Maximum amount that we can spend on a sign.
Yes, there is. But it's pretty high. Is it not in that one? The maximum amount in our request can be $25,000. So, depending on how many businesses we have for all the signs.
So $50,000 for the signs is all we can put up.
$25,000 worth of signs. So everybody as a group, our application cannot go over 25,000.
Our 50% added to that would be 50,000.
Yes, yes.
For all the businesses.
For all the businesses, yeah.
5 businesses apply, it's 5,000.
Yes.
If you're a ceramic business, it doesn't count.
It's easier for her because she's not in the historical district.
Is there,
I'm not in the historic.
is the money divided equally amongst the amount of participants? That's kind of what he asked, but I want to make sure that if there's 45,000 for 5 businesses, that he only needs 3,000,
Right. So
or he wants 8,000.
I'm going to say no, but if there's a problem, then yes. So, generally speaking, we're going to have our quote in front of us. And my applications last year, our signs did not go over $5,000. And so, generally speaking, we'll be fine. If there's a problem, then we can discuss it at that point. And the city will make the final judgment on that. But to move forward, yes. So if Josh's sign is only $1,000 and ceramics is over only $1,000, but your quote came in because yours is bigger and different at $5,000, that's fine, or $10,000, as long as our application doesn't go over 25. So, and it won't be split. So if we put in a $20,000 grant, it won't be split between those businesses. It will be half of your quote. So if your quote is only $1,000, but your neighbor's is $2,000, you're still only going to pay your half of that.
One more question about type of signage. I know it said no backlit. Can you describe what backlit is to you?
So to me, that would be light on the wall
Facing it?
facing towards the street.
Okay, to be internally illuminated,
That's the question.
I think that's probably.
Yes. But following the state's guidelines. So they can't be the bubble ones that are internally lit, but it can be, there's quite a bit of do's and don'ts in it. Let me just put it that way.
Someplace we can look at examples.
Absolutely. I can send you the link. I can also give you like the slides from their webinar. They also put on a webinar and they went into detail about the types of signs. And then if you're interested in putting an application in with us, then we can sit down and talk about what your sign is now, how we can make a better sign, and what types of signs we can and cannot do.
So I'm just slightly confused. So, if we put what I think was called a blade sign, sticks out from the business,
Yes.
it can be internally lit,
Yes.
but not a bubble.
So there's types of signs that are, they call them like plastic molds, like from the 80s. Remember the 70s and the 80s plastic mold ones? Those aren't allowed.
That they can be flat faced,
Yes.
flat faced backlit,
Yes.
internal, right?
Internal lit. Yes.
What about LED?
They did say some things about LED. There's a whole lot. I think that maybe that's a one-on-one. We need to look at codes.
Some of
Because-
that's the historic.
That's true. And then your codes are also going to dictate how bright it can be, if it can have any kind of lettering or anything. And so we'll have to look at your codes as well. But I think the best way is for us to sit down and go through and you tell me exactly what type of sign you're thinking.
What to get people's attention, I read.
Yes, absolutely.
What else do we have to have for this February deadline on the application? Is an application with the business, what kind of type of sign we're thinking?
You're going to need a quote. You're going to need a sketch.
Does it have to be designed, quoted by whoever's putting it up and everything before this February deadline?
Not full design, but we need them to be able to tell us this is what an estimated charge is, so we know exactly how much we need to apply for. And we needed them to explain the sign. So a lot of designers will come in and give you a price quote and say it's going to be a blade design with the name on it and approximate, like if you want a logo on it, that kind of stuff. They'll write up a whole estimate for us to be able to put in with the application. It's a very fast turnaround.
No problem. I think the biggest hurdle is gonna be getting the quote out in time, because a lot of these companies are busy.
Yeah, because we're
I
gonna,
did my first sign, it was quite a lengthy process. And it was just not
so what we're looking for is a quote from the designer and a quote from the sign maker, probably, because you're probably going to use two separate ones. Now, I know that you guys have a couple designers here in town, and I think one sign maker. Am I correct on that? Is that what we talked about? One sign maker?
Yeah, not in.
Oh, okay. So,
our goal, Winfield, I think, probably on that.
Yeah, they can.
okay. And we can use any sign maker. It's the designer that has to be on the list.
So is that the first link of this application? I would say just to get on the list.
To get on the list, yes.
And designer.
Uh-huh, yes. If you Google Kansas Signs Grant, it'll bring up the Department of Commerce's website that's going to have all this information on there. It'll also have that link, so you don't have to type all these in. You'll be able to just click that link, and I think there was 6 questions, and then you add a couple of your designs you've already done, if you have a portfolio or a website or anything like that, so they can vet you and make sure that you're an actual designer.
I think I emailed you that. Right. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, for the designing part.
Do you know the designer for town?
No, we've talked about a few, but I don't have any contact information about them yet.
I sent an open, like you said, an open letter to a few designers I know, I sent to that, and then, a couple of others that I know, I only heard back from one. Yeah, sure, yeah.
So our next step is,
So your next step is deciding if you want to move forward. If you do want to move forward, I'd like for you guys to fill out the sheet that's on the desk over here. It's going to have your business information and then who you want as your contact person. And then that way I can call or email you and we can start the conversation about how we move forward. Do you have anybody online? Can you see if people are online listening? Can you see if people are online listening?
Yes.
Are there
I
people
asked
there?
If there was any questions, and I haven't, double check. I have that slide presentation that you were referring to.
Okay.
there. Yes, there are 3, looks like we have 3 online right now.
Oh, that's great. So feel free to contact me to get the paperwork sent if anybody's not here. Also, the city has it available also and can email it or give it to you. Yeah. Might be in the quality place, this one. I thought it was in here. So if you do want to plan moving forward in the historical district, I'll get with you and get you exactly what information you're going to need.
Except we don't have any standards above and beyond what the historical society has, so I'm almost positive that Congress went to them to get standards.
Yeah. And every building that does get awarded through the application process, they'll send through the Historical Preservation Society to get their approval and recommendations on how to hang
We may
each
not
sign.
need to do that meeting if they're doing that anyway.
Right.
We may just call them.
Just like the state do it.
That's usually not too. It just hopefully speeds that process up. Or if it doesn't, then that's a reason to allow it to go through. If it doesn't meet the deadline.
Well, and when the state submits it, it seems to move faster.
If I do it, it takes 30 days.
Yeah, exactly. So, you guys have any other questions? I know I talk really fast, and I know when I always leave a meeting, I'm like, oh, I should have answered that, or I should have questioned that, or should have call me, email me, call the city. You feel free to answer any questions.
I do have a question online.
Okay.
If I can pull it up.
Anybody knows?
What about sports complexes such as the new pickleball court? Can we get signs for that?
We cannot, simply because the park is owned by the city and it has to have a business inside of it. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to holler and I would be happy to chat with you.